So Caitlin Clark is the obvious rookie of the year, and there were some people earlier on in the year, such as Monica McNutt, that had some kind of very odd takes when it came to Caitlin Clark. She was obviously the person who was saying it was like disrespectful for the WNBA for her to be on Team USA and stuff.
Hey there, sports enthusiasts! Welcome back, your one-stop shop for all things sports news, analysis, and a dash of humor. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a topic that's been making headlines and stirring up conversations in the sports world. That's right, we're talking about Caitlin Clark and the surprising and, let's be honest, somewhat overdue acknowledgement she's been receiving. The title says it all. ESPN analysts have been, let's say, compelled to recognize Caitlin Clark's incredible talent after initially brushing it aside.
Stephen A., I could actually argue that it hurts the game more if they had given her a roster spot over someone more deserving.
So go ahead and argue it.
That's exactly what I'm saying, because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, we're not.
We'll get into why this has been such a big deal, how it unfolded, and why it matters so much. So grab your popcorn, because this is going to be quite a ride. First, let's rewind a bit and set the stage for those who might be new to the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. Caitlin Clark, the dynamic guard for the Iowa Hawkeyes, has been lighting up the college basketball scene with performances that are nothing short of spectacular. From her deadly three-point shooting to her clutch game-winning plays, she's been turning heads and making headlines. Just look at these numbers. Leading the nation in scoring, breaking Iowa's all-time records, and delivering standout performances in key games. It's clear, Caitlin Clark is a force to be reckoned with. But, as we'll see, not everyone was quick to recognize her achievements. Now, let's talk about those ESPN analysts. Earlier in the season, their commentary seemed to overlook Caitlin Clark's stellar play.
This isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
It was almost as if she was playing in a parallel universe, where her incredible performances weren't making the impact they deserved. There were moments where her stats and highlights were mentioned almost in passing, overshadowed by other narratives. Some analysts were quick to dismiss her as just another good player having a decent season. They focused more on narratives around other players or teams, failing to give Caitlin Clark the recognition she had truly earned. It felt like an episode of Guess Who's Not Getting the Spotlight, and Caitlin Clark's name was conspicuously absent. But, as they say, sports fans are never shy to voice their opinions. And boy, did they have something to say. Social media exploded with reactions.
Sheryl Swoopes, basketball legend, Hall of Famer, has been highly critical of rookie phenom of the Indiana Fever, formerly of the University of Iowa, Caitlin Clark. And it goes back to this appearance that we actually covered when Swoopes went into Gil's Arena, Gilbert Arenas' show, which I've been highly critical of. There's a lot to take that is good, and there's some bad. And she claimed that Clark got a fifth year to break the scoring record, which was blatantly, patently false. And it persisted and snowballed, and now Swoopes, a commentator for the Dallas Wings' broadcast team, was apparently removed.
Fans were vocal, passionate, and in many cases downright incredulous. It was a classic case of, if the analysts won't notice, the fans will make sure they do. We saw tweets, posts, memes, every form of digital expression was used to call out the analysts. Hashtags like #RecognizeClark and #ClarkDeservesBetter started trending. The fervor was palpable, and it became clear that Caitlin Clark was no longer just a rising star. She was a movement.
This was not the dumbest take, or the saying that Angel was your rookie of the year was not the dumbest thing in the world back then, because at this stage, Angel was averaging like 2 points per game less than Caitlin Clark and was still leading the league in rebounds.
All season BC. My rookie of the year is going to go based on the standings.
Okay.
Because
That's just crazy. That's what she got called out for. Like, someone who had in general been Caitlin Clark hater said my rookie of the year is going to be based on the standings. And if you guys don't know, at this time in the year, there was a half a game difference between the two teams.
Fast forward to today, and it seems the analysts have had a bit of a wake-up call. They've publicly acknowledged Caitlin Clark's exceptional talent and the impact she's had on the game.
Kelsey Mitchell has been a star on the Indiana Fever. There is no doubt about that. She has been nothing short of sensational. She's averaging about 19 points per game. She had a big-time game yesterday, which you called. And I just wanted to throw this out there just as a reference point, just to put things in perspective about what Caitlin Clark brings to the table. The average attendance in the 33 games Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever have played in this season is 15,746, which leads the WNBA. The average attendance of WNBA games not involving Caitlin Clark is on average 8,490, an 85% drop.
It's like watching a dramatic plot twist unfold. Suddenly, the analysts are all about Caitlin Clark, and they're making up for lost time. Let's take a look at how the analysts have revised their stance. We've seen them praising Caitlin Clark's performances, discussing her skills in depth, and even admitting that they might have underestimated her early on. It's a case of better late than never. And while it's good to see the recognition, it does make you wonder about the timing. So, what exactly were these analysts missing? Caitlin Clark's game isn't just about impressive stats, though they are impressive. It's about her influence on the court and beyond. Her ability to perform under pressure, her vision, and her leadership qualities make her a standout player. And let's not forget her flair and charisma that bring a whole new level of excitement to the game. Beyond her on-court skills, Caitlin Clark's impact is far-reaching. She's become a role model for young athletes everywhere, proving that hard work, dedication, and a bit of flair can get you to the top. Her success is inspiring the next generation of basketball players, particularly women, to dream big and push their limits. The stories of young players looking up to Caitlin Clark are heartwarming. From social media posts to interviews with aspiring athletes, it's clear that she's making a significant impact. Her presence on the court and her achievements are not just changing the game, they're changing lives. So, what's next for Caitlin Clark? The future looks incredibly bright. With her talent and determination, she's poised for a stellar career ahead. Whether it's leading her team to championships, making waves in professional leagues, or continuing to inspire young players, Caitlin Clark is set to leave a lasting legacy. That's all for today's deep dive into Caitlin Clark and the analyst's belated acknowledgement. If you enjoyed this analysis, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update.